What's up, YouTube? Today I want to revisit the first time that I recall going into a depression. Welcome to another episode of kevmacvideos, True Stories.
It. I never stopped banging. I started banging hard, then I got so hard till it was a shame.
Welcome to another episode of kevmacvideos, True Stories. Today's story takes place in the mid-1980s, leading up to 1986. My brother was already incarcerated. He did 3 years, YA, YTS, or what have you. And during this time that he was gone, my father had purchased me for my 17th birthday and my graduation at Crenshaw High School a 1976 280Z. Not to be confused with my dark blue 280Z with the Daytons, but in order to make it to 17 and to graduate, I would get this car. Of course, he gave me the car before the graduation anyway. And so, First wheels I had was some center lines with the holes drilled out. Center lines was in at the time. If you go back to 84, 85, 86, that's what people was rolling center lines, mostly on the Nissan trucks. And I drilled the holes out, always trying to be fancier and creative. I had some Riken tires on there. And so this was my pride and joy, man. I love this car. It was a salvage, so the frame was in the front was a little bit weak. Everything else was fine. Everything was cool. We got the CHP check, went downtown, got everything fixed to the lights. Everything's fine. I'm driving this car, and it's a pretty speedy car, pretty fast. Not the fastest Z around town. But it was cool. First time car, manual transmission. And so I'm falling in love with this car, waxing it, all that stuff, adding European lights to the back, stuff like that, slowly trying to update it. I'm always parking this car in a driveway. So it was an unwritten rule. Moms knew I'm going to pull up to the side of the house, and she parks behind me. That way nobody can steal my car. Of course, I had an alarm on it. Them cheap alarms didn't stop nothing back in the day. And we usually kept a dog. So I kept my car in the driveway. Mom's behind it. Sometimes I have to move the cars in order to put my car in front of hers. After all, this is Mom. She's not finna be getting up, going outside, moving her car every time his baby boy comes home. So in 1986, my brother paroles. Bro comes home. Me and my partners, we would always go out on weekends. We're going to go down Crenshaw Boulevard, maybe Hollywood Boulevard. We're going to go to Westwood, and we're going to go to Marina. And just always getting out, always doing something, staying active. So at this time, I'm 17, 18 years old. And bro comes home, and he has this 1984 Blazer. That's what was kind of in back then, the Astro Vans and the Blazers. And the older Blazers and the newer Blazers, if I remember correctly. So bro's fresh home. Pops lets him use his Benz, Pop. So bro riding the Benz and the Blazer, his choice of what he want to ride that day. But I had a phobia growing up because my mother's cars would get hit sitting out on the street. Because see, back then, there wasn't a lot of cars on the streets. The streets where we lived at was basically empty. Everybody parked in their backyard or in the driveway. So we always had extra cars because we had a large family. So a neighbor down the street, one of the homegirls, uncles, got drunk one night, came, bashed my mother's station wagon. Another time, a drunk Mexican comes driving down the street, boom, bashes my mother's station wagon. So when I got a car, I never wanted to park on the street. I always wanted to park in the driveway. So now I take my car one day. I take my car to the Z shop on Jefferson between La Brea and La Cienega and get some work done to my car. So I got my fuel injection cleaned out. I got one new fuel injection which hadn't been working. I got my airflow meter turned up. I got my fuel injection turned up. And I got a brand new clutch in it. Man, this car is super fast. I'm talking about it's super fast. Faster than it was before. It's like it brought new life to me. So one day I'm coming home and I got the homie D-Wiz, real name Dion, in the car. He's in the passenger seat with me. It's a two-seater. I got the roll bar in the car and everything because I like the speed. I was a speed demon at the time. So now I'm taking D to my house so we could get ready to go out. Unknowing to me, a gang of homies was already at the house. I'm talking about a pack of homies. You got some 60s and you got some non-60s hanging out in front of the house. And bro with his high signing ass has his 84 Blazer parked in front of the driveway. So I can't get in. He got his music bumping and shit. He's the type of person that the music so loud, like it don't even sound good. You hear all this static, his music so loud. And the neighbors used to hate it. So now we got all these dudes hanging out on the grass, the neighbor's grass, and in the street. So now I want to show out like, bro, I'm really mad. I'm thinking to myself, why is this asshole parked in front of the driveway? This asshole should know I park in the driveway. So I'm mad. I throw a little tantrum. Put the car in first gear and I smash out. I don't even realize it. I don't even know my back tires are spinning. This had never happened to me before because the car wasn't never that fast. I can only burn rubber when I snatch the clutch in the second. Sometime in the third, but mostly second. But on the takeoff, man, my back tires are spinning. So now I'm fishtailing, boom, boom. And I come up out the fishtail facing the right side, and the neighbor up the street had this big old blue Blazer way up off the ground. So he had these big old giant tires. And boom, I smashed into the tire. The salvage Z, the frame kind of buckled up a little bit, like tinfoil. So the front of the car smashed the radiator was leaking. I bust my light out, my bumper's crooked, my blinker light is busted out. So I done messed this car up, man. But nothing happened to dude's car. Dude comes outside, like, man, what are you doing? This was a mean dude, right? He was a mechanic. He's like, man, what are you doing? I bumped into your car, man. And he says, man, you owe me. You're going to have to pay for this. All right, no problem, man. I'll pay for it, but ain't nothing wrong with your car. So he looks like, oh, shit, all the damage is on your car. All right, don't worry about it, man. So boom, I pushed the car down the street. Some of the homies helped me push the car. And I put the car in the driveway. I go into a deep depression. This is like the first time I remember being depressed. I'm depressed. And it wasn't a good feeling. Because I'm also embarrassed. I'm embarrassed all the homies see me wreck my car. I'm embarrassed because this was my pride and joy. And I'm embarrassed because I can't roll out with the homies no more. So I go and rent a car. I rent a car. I'm depressed for like probably maybe 3 to 5 days. I'm totally in my own shit. I'm depressed. Me and my brother, we not speaking. I'm still blaming him in my head. If he doesn't block the driveway, I don't act like a fool, burn rubber, and wreck my car. So I'm mad at this nigga. So one day, it's late at night. It's probably about 10:30 at night. Bro never at home at 10:30 at night. Bro be out all night. We see him in the morning. But this particular night, bro comes home for whatever reason, and he's like, hey, what? I say back to him. He says to me in a soft voice, take me up the hill. Take you up what? Come on, just take me up the hill. Man, I don't want to take this fool nowhere. I want this fool to fix my car. He say, man, give me $100 and I got you. Give you $100 for what? I probably only got $150 to my name. It's partly why I'm depressed and the car ain't in the shop. We never discussed anything about fixing a car. So I take him up the hill. I'm like, where do I go? Left or right? He's like, go left, up the hill, stupid. So I'm like, well, shit, nigga, how I'm supposed to know? Go up where's the hills. So I go up this hill. He's like, man, ain't nothing over here. What you mean ain't nothing over here? Like, do you know what house you going to? Fool, shut up and just drive. Okay, where I'm going now, left or right? Go left. So, I go left. And we coming back like we coming to my house. I'm like, fool, we going back home. He said, man, just be quiet, be quiet. He said, pull over right here. Pull over right here, nigga, we finna fight? What? Is this I'm looking at the house, like, who live here? Like, I don't recognize none of these houses. I don't know no homies, no square partners or family members live up here. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what's he up to. This nigga, he say, wait right here, don't go nowhere. So he gets out the car and I'm watching him. And he walks up to this car. He got like a blue rag. And later I found out it was a screwdriver. But he got like this blue rag and something. And boom, I hear the window pop. Like, damn, that was smooth. What's going on? But it's in a Z, just like mine. And he reaches through the broken window, unlocks the door. He opens up the door. He jumps in the car. And he starts to roll the car down the hill. And then boom, the car jumps, starts. I'm like, what? He took off like he had a key, but what he really did, I guess he turned the ignition, and then he popped the clutch and take off. And he drive the car to the house. So I'm thinking, damn, man, I could use that Z. So I'm trying to catch up to him, but he's speeding. I'm like, man, boom, I'm on his ass. Boom, pull up to the house. I'm like, man, I want this car. He said, man, give me that $100. For what? He said, nigga, you want this car or not? Hell yeah, I want this car. So it's not the first car I ever got into, but it's the first car that I took apart. I took this car apart, man. It had some vents on the hood. My car didn't have that. So in order to keep the engine cooler, I wanted those vents. So I take the hood off. I take the fender off to replace my fender. It got the newer 78, 79, 77 bumpers. So I take the front bumper and the back bumper. I take the little light in the grill. And I take the carpet out the car. I wanted to take some engine parts, but my shit was up to par already. So I'm like, cool, man. Like, shit, I'm on. $100. So I put all this shit on my car, and I take my car to the paint shop, and I get it repainted the same light blue. It wasn't as fly light blue, but it was a similar match, because the original paint my father put on it was an old Porsche paint. So now I came with like a color match, trying to match the same type of paint. And so now I'm happy. I'm happy now. And you know what I do? First thing I do, because he was going to Stockton. He was going to Stockton at the time. He was getting a little bit of money in Stockton. So I shoot up to Stockton behind him. I follow him up to Stockton. We driving crazy. 100 miles an hour all the way to Stockton, I kid you not. No highway patrol, none of that. We going in and out of traffic, driving crazy. When we get to Stockton, I took an ounce with me. I flipped that ounce, more than double the amount that I paid for the ounce. So I come back, I buy me some Hayachi, I think they Hayachi rims, you call them. I put some Pirelli P7 tires on there, some nice soft tires. And man, I was happy. I was happy, man. And so, bro looked out. Bro looked out, got me back rolling, got me out of my depression. And I want to say today's lesson is sometimes all we need is somebody to pick us up. All we need is somebody to help us out. All we need is a helping hand to get back on our feet and get to living life again. Man, that moment changed my life for the time being, man. I was so happy with my brother, and I was so proud to have my car back rolling so fast and so nice. But thank you guys for watching, man. Be sure to click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I tell all sorts of stories here. I know you guys want some pigeon stories. You guys want some car stories. I got a few more in mind. Stay tuned. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.
This is Los